Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome back to Planescape. Sorry about the delay, shifting where I was sitting. Yeah, we gotta figure out what to do next. I guess we go into this,
I'm gone.
Into this house now. Ruined house, looking for the, looking for the library bones. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do first, though? I'm gonna head to the Clerk's ward before I deal with this, because that is next on my list, and then I can come back here afterwards. I'm gonna go to the Clerk's ward. How's that? See, here's the thing about the Clerk's ward, is that it has something I want to do to get Ignis in. And I think it also has the Cleric, what's her face? Falls from Virtue or whatever. Falls from Grace, yeah. But let's talk to a few people. Let's talk to Matter of Course first. The giant of a man wears an equally immense suit of ornate red armor. He regards you cautiously, but without fear as you approach him. Greetings. A booming voice echoes from within his great helm. Greetings, citizen. I am Matter of Course, bodyguard to Diligence, fourth magistrate the ward. You must excuse me, for my duties lie at her side. Farewell. Let's talk to Diligence.
Done.
This older, stern-looking woman is clearly on her way somewhere. When she notices your approach, she studies you with a disapproving, tight-lipped frown. Greetings. The woman nods curtly, speaking with a tone cold as ice. Yes, what is it, and what's your words? For I am Diligence, fourth magistrate to the ward. Something troubling about my appearance? I should most certainly think so. Should the Apparel Regulation Act be passed, people of your sort won't be permitted to traipse about in such a manner, half-naked and filthy as you are. You're quick to judge one by their appearances, aren't you? You would tell me, then, that you are not a wanderer, meandering about the city, asking questions of all those you come across, engaging in more than the occasional combat to the death with those who cross it. Well, I mean, she's not wrong. All that aside, madam, I am quite clean, and meaning no disrespect, some cultures might find your clothes offensive. She examines you skeptically for a moment, then nods. Your point is well taken, sir. Still, though, you cannot deny you are a rather rough-looking sort of fellow. My appearance is merely a product of my environment, madam, and a difficult life. I shouldn't be held accountable for that. Oh, but you should. How easy it is for one to blame one's life, one's surroundings, for their every failing. I can see by your manner you are well educated, sir, yet you appear to insist upon a lifestyle of wandering and senseless violence. Why not settle in Sigil, become a contributing citizen, rather than some bloody-handed nomad in its streets? The choice is out of my hands, I assure you. Oh, how so? Her coldness melts away into a look of curiosity. Tell her your story, or what you know of it. You finish telling her your story. Diligence looks shocked. That is quite a tale, sir. Were it only a tale, madam, it is my life, and I'm the scars to prove it, as you've noticed when we first met, I believe. Yes, quite so. She smiles slightly. You had begun to wonder if she was even capable of such a thing. I wish you luck, sir, in your undertakings. May you find yourself once more. My thanks. Farewell, Lady Diligence, and I'll probably come looking for her again in the event that a quest requires it. I'm surprised that didn't net me some experience. Alright, we've got a drunken mage down here. Oh, and Nimel. This tall, slender woman, sipping wine from a small ceramic cup, appears to be looking for someone. Her facial features are elegantly exotic, and the woman's ears, though partially covered by her long hair, can be seen to come to sharp points. Greetings. The woman turns to face you, violet eyes flashing the flawless chips of amethyst. Her speech is as music. You can hear a faint musical tinkling, 100 tiny crystal bells as she speaks. Each word lingers in your ears, as if they were unwilling to relinquish the exquisite sound. Nimel turned to face the scarred, dour stranger. She asked what he wished of her. You're Nimel? I was told you know the command word for this decanter. The woman makes no move to touch or examine the decanter, but only speaks. Nimel took it from the stranger, turning it in her hands. Had she seen its light before, she thought? Perhaps. Yes, she remembered now. She returned the decanter, whispering into his ear as she did so.
Updated my journal.
You realize you now know the word. Nildenosage. Although... Jason Edlin? Okay. Though you're certain the woman never whispered to you, but merely said she did. She blinks at you. Would the stranger leave her now, satisfied with what she told her? Not just yet. Are you looking for someone? Where could she be? Namel wondered. Her companion, Aelwyn, was supposed to have met her here days ago. The woman sighs miserably. The air around her grows chill with her sadness. How long must she search this vast, foreign city before she finds her dearest friend? I could help you find your friend. What does she look like? Namel clasps her hands together and bows her head. She would be so pleased to hear news of her friend. She told the kind stranger what Aelwyn looked like, so that he would know her should she come across her. An image forms in your mind, a woman who resembles Namel, but with golden eyes and hair of fiery crimson.
Updated my journal.
That's odd, and yet actually really neat. I need to use that idea for an NPC in some of my games sometime. Abel Ponderthought. This older man looks somewhat bookish. His clothing and accessories are extremely clean, neat, and well cared for, and he often pauses to brush some fleck of dust or lint off of them. A symbol resembling a stylized dagger piercing upward through a flame is embroidered upon his tunic. The man's eyes widen. By the unjust laws of Tourney, He catches himself looking apologetic. I say, are you all right? You look... He fumbles for the words. Hurt. I'm all right. Aye, it hurts to look at him, it does. Yeah, thank you. Very amusing. And I had some questions, sir. The man nods eagerly. Of course. I'm always most happy to hear what questions I can, young sir. What questions about you? Me? Certainly. Who are you? Why, my name is Abel Ponderthought. I have other questions about you. What do you do here? I passed my administrator exam just recently and have achieved the status of an A9, a research consultant in the Hall of Records, one of the many aides specializing in sigils, physical laws, and history. I research topics and laws of interest to others. It is quite fascinating, really. And some other questions about you. What's that symbol embroidered on your tunic? Okay, let's see. Why? 'Tis the symbol of the Fraternity of Order. We are responsible for much of the lawmaking and running the courts here in Sigil. Many judges, advocates, and clerks are members of our order, and we are pleased to be able to help enforce Sigil's laws and keep things orderly. We make a strident effort to learn all laws, whether they pertain to Sigil, the Planes, or the multiverse itself. What do they believe?
Updated my journal.
The Fraternity of Order believes that the multiverse is governed by laws. When one knows all the laws, one will understand the multiverse. That is our goal, but by understanding the laws, their limits, we learn to avoid certain laws. If you don't mind me asking, what sort of benefits are there in the position? Well, our fraternity allows us to read languages quite easily, and we may use some rules of the multiverse on occasion to suit our benefits. I had some other questions. How about this place? I'll admit I know little of this part of the Clerk's ward, sir, but please ask. Why is it called the Clerk's ward? Well, probably Clerks, right? It is the seat of much of Sigil's record halls and administration. The staff at these places give the ward its name. Many clerks, scribes, priests, bureaucrats, and administration officials live in this ward. What's of interest around here? There is one of the finest advocates in Sigil located here, the Civic Fest Hall. Home of the Society of Sensation is also located nearby. He lowers his voice. And the brothel, sir, of slating intellectual lusts. Tell me of the advocate. He is also one of the Fraternity of Order, though his time there has ebbed somewhat since the unfortunate troubles he has experienced. I'm not one to speak of them. His residence is just across the way, south and east of here. How about the Fest Hall? 'Tis a beautiful structure that is both the headquarters of the Society of Sensation and acts as a hall for the arts here in Sigil and the Plains. It's an opera house, museum, art gallery, wine shop, tavern, training hall, theater, sensoriums. Many things can be found there. Tell me about the Society of Sensation.
Updated my journal.
The Society of Sensation. They are one of the most prominent of Sigil's 15 factions. They hold the belief that the true dark of the universe can be known only by directly experiencing as much of the universe as possible, tasting every substance, feeling every range of emotion, and visiting every place in the multiverse. Their faction headquarters is at the Civic Fest Hall, where they seek to bring experiences to all of Sigil. At the moment, they are the most numerous faction in all of Sigil, and the most powerful. If I am not mistaken, the most recent census of their members is over 20 times 1,000 members. Other questions about Sigil? I'm curious about the factions. Yes, there are 15 factions in Sigil. Once there were 49 factions. Then about 600 years ago, the Lady of Pain let it be known that only 15 would remain. That was known as the Great Upheaval. He continues, and sure enough, in a fortnight 34 of them perished or faded. Many thousands died by sword or by other means. Many were simply found dead. I myself am a member of the Fraternity of Order. Others include the Believers of the Source, the Dustmen, the Harmonium, the Mercy Killers, the Revolutionary League, the Society of Sensation, and the Zeosites. Tell me about the Dustmen.
Updated my journal.
The Dustmen believe that we are already dead. The Sigil and the Plains are where we all end up after we die. According to their beliefs, everything is dead and this existence is a false one. To keep any ties or feelings for this existence only prevents the soul from truly dying. Can you listen? Yeah, he's just basically a lore dump, but it is adjusting it all into my journal, so it is worth listening to. So give me a moment. He continues, you see, the Dustmen believe that death in this existence is a matter of a degree, and only those who are truly dead and have divested themselves of all ties to this existence can hope to be at peace. A philosophy that has some basis, in fact, but much of it bears further examination. How about the Believers in the Source?
Updated my journal.
The Believers of the Source, or Godsmen, believe that every living thing in the multiverse has the potential to become a power. He continues, the Godsmen have their headquarters in the Great Foundry, and they have helped keep peace and Sigil in a number of matters. They have no desire to seek any creature placed in the Dead Book before it has a chance to reach its potential. Okay, how about the Harmonium?
Updated my journal.
The Harmonium is devoted to peace and harmony throughout the planes, thus their name. They believe that the end justifies the means, however, so they are willing to do just about anything to get a fellow to see things their way. Regardless of one's personal opinion of them, they do a fine job of policing Sigil streets. How about the Mercy Killers?
Updated my journal.
The Mercy Killers believe that justice is everything. Balin, their last factol, once said that when properly applied, punishment leads to perfection. Those new to Sigil oftentimes commit the error of thinking, and their name implies, that they kill out of mercy. Rather, though, that is that they seek to kill mercy itself. The faction members take it upon themselves to punish the guilty of Sigil, whatever the cost. How about the Revolutionary League?
Updated my journal.
They're also called the Anarchists. Not many know this, but the Revolutionary League is actually quite widespread in Sigil, and a shame that is, too. They hold the misguided belief that all institutions have been established to block their access to the truth of the multiverse. The only way they see to discover the truth is to tear down all organization. They claim that the truth can only be discovered when people are completely free. He shakes his head. I often wish that they would open their eyes to the truth around them. They do nothing but blind themselves and block everyone's access to the truth. He gives a long sigh, then wags his finger disapprovingly, as if talking to some imaginary bad child. It is interesting to note that they have no real plans for seeking the truth past tearing down everything that they can see. Very interesting indeed. It is also of interest that while the Revolutionary League has a large number of members, the very nature of their faction causes those members to work counter to each other's interests. Often cells fight amongst each other, each one claiming to know the proper way to go about tearing everything down. How about the Zeosites? Or the Society of Sensation. The Society of Sensation. They are one of the most prominent officials. Yeah, I've already listened to that one. How about the Zeosites?
Updated my journal.
He-harumps, rabble-rousers, not a proper faction at all. That raggedy bunch, why even the Revolutionary League is more organized. The Zeosites think that, by embracing chaos, they'll somehow discover the secrets of the multiverse. Ridiculous notion. I'm curious about the Lady of Pain. Lady of Pain, yes, she is the force behind Sigil, you know, very impressive figure, but little is known about her. What is known about her? He begins ticking off the points on his fingers. 1. She is not just a symbol of Sigil, as some claim. She is very real and very dangerous. 2. She is believed to be the one that keeps the powers, deities, out of Sigil. As long as she is present, the powers cannot enter Sigil. 3. She also prevents unauthorized teleporting and getting into and out of Sigil. It prevents the Outer Planes creatures from bringing even more of their kind to Sigil, outside the conventional routes. 4. She has never spoken to anyone. 5. She usurped control of Sigil from Auskar, a power now believed dead. 6. Anyone who threatens Sigil or her is punished, either by falling beneath her shadow, which results in a series of invisible stab wounds that can kill even greater Baitsu, or being sent to the mazes from whence few ever escape. 7. She does not like to be worshipped. Those that do are often found with their skin missing. And lastly, the sight of her is believed to drive others mad. She stole control of Sigil from a power? How do you know this? 'Tis the belief of my order. You said that the sight of her drives people mad? Yes, he ponders on it for a moment, but I must add the caveat that I've never seen her. You understand. So how is it that you know that she created Sigil? 'Tis the belief of my order. Okay, I have other questions about Sigil. Where's outside of Sigil? No one knows, and it is not for want of trying. At the places where no true wall exists are solid walls of buildings, with no windows that look beyond. Some claim to have climbed roofs and seen the outside of Sigil, but they can only describe the outside as nothing. He continues, that's an unacceptable explanation, but it still remains a mystery. It is rumored, without fact, that to step beyond Sigil's walls takes the traveler to a random plane, but this has not been confirmed. The Fraternity Order has mounted many expeditions, and we have yet to retrieve concrete information. Alright. Where does the daylight here come from? I don't see a sun. The haze can make it difficult to determine for certain, so I understand your difficulty. The light comes not from the sun, but from the gradual luminescence that fills the sky. It reaches a peak called peak, then fades until Sigil is completely dark, called anti-peak. The source of luminescence is unknown, but is most likely the lady's will. Okay. Actually, let me ask about something else. What about this place? What's of interest around here? Tell me about the brothel. He nods, looking somewhat embarrassed. Yes, well, I am known to go there for the conversation. He glances at Anna, then flushes an even deeper red. 'Tis a larger, round building in the center of this part of the ward. Questions about the ward. Know of any work available locally? None of the temporary sort, no. Alright, that's all I wish to ask. That was informative.
Yeah, let's sample a little poodle, eh?
Let's continue around. Now, I do have quests to do now. It goes to Under Sigil. See. Give me a moment. So. I have the ability to go put Ignis out. But I want to fill some of my slots here. I'm going to get Ignis and what's-her-face from the Fest Hall, I think. Or not the Fest Hall, the Brothel first. I think I'll do that as soon as I find out where it is. And then go get Ignis, and then we'll continue exploring as normal. So this goes where? Nowhere. Alright, what's up here? The Curiosity Shop? I'll come back to it. Let's map the place out first. There's the apothecary. There's Aelwyn. Who's this? This tall, slender woman occasionally looks up from her cup of wine to scan the surrounding patrons and passerby. Her facial features are elegantly exotic, and her eyes, brilliant golden color, catch the light sparkling as she looks about. She regards you carefully for a moment before replying. She speaks slowly and carefully, avoiding direct eye contact with you. I, Aelwyn, return your greetings. Your friend Namel is looking for you.
Updated my journal.
She begins to smile, but then covers her mouth with her hand and looks down her drink. I, Aelwyn, are most pleased to hear of Namel. Might I, Aelwyn, persuade you to tell her of this place? Yeah, I'll do that for you.
Updated my journal.
She looks at you directly, and for just the briefest of moments before she casts her eyes back down to her drink, your senses are awash with a warm, comfortable feeling, pure happiness. I, Aelwyn, thank you. It's my pleasure. May I ask you about her, though? The way she speaks and what her words do, how? I, Aelwyn, can only say that we come from another place, another world. We are not like the people here, whose words, thoughts, very feelings even, affect nothing directly. I, Aelwyn, take great care so as not to affect those around me too greatly. Namel, she is new here and cannot do so. It is something she must learn, should she choose to remain here much longer. But why? There are many reasons I, Aelwyn, feel it is not right to impose reality upon those without the ability to impose their own reality upon me, Aelwyn. Is there anything you cannot do simply by speaking of it? She frowns, a strange, unpleasant feeling rises in the pit of your stomach. Please, I, Aelwyn, would speak of it no more. Just one other question. She looks at you directly, your face reflected in the glittering golden discs of her eyes. He would speak of it no more to Aelwyn, and thus would no longer force her to speak in such a way to him. You find yourself unable to voice another question, your words catch in your throat as you... Damn, man. They're like narratives. They're like narrative priority. Alright, coming back over here to let Namel know. I found Aelwyn. She was... Alright, Namel held her breath as the stranger approached her. Had he found Aelwyn? She wondered. I found Aelwyn. She was looking for you, too.
Updated my journal.
Namel's lips form a perfect smile, and infectious happiness radiates from her, clinging to you like a sweet-smelling warmth. Namel was overjoyed to hear of her friend. Was Aelwyn close by? She had another cafe just east of here, across the part of the ward. Namel thanked the man for the wondrous news. Soon she would go to visit her oldest friend, Aelwyn, though now she would reward the stranger. Wait for her to reward you. She would draw the stranger close, laying her hand upon his chest and kissing the pale, leathery skin of his cheek. Life would flow into him, invigorating him. This, then, was to be his reward. And that's max hit points plus 3. As you wait, there is a slight tingling sensation upon your cheek and chest. The feeling spreads across the whole of your body, and you begin to feel stronger, more animated. My thanks. Farewell. And that's nice. Okay, let's continue to look around here. Get the map made. I think that's actually where I need to be. Mall Manor? Malmanor? I don't know. This thin, sharp-faced man rushes toward you, calling for your attention. Ah, sir, but a moment of your time. Were you perchance here to visit the tailor? The man breaks in. I ask, sir, because I seem to have offended the man. I have commissioned the hot-blooded fool to make me a costume, but he's thrown me out of his shop and will not speak to me now. So the man suddenly balls his fists and shakes them at the sky. What have I done to deserve such treatment? Nothing, I say. I was a patron. It is his duty to serve me, that trollish buffoon. What do you want from me? Eh? He focuses on you again. Oh, yes, you. Could I beg you to enter the place and fetch my costume for me, sir? I have a masquerade to go to, and I have not the time to commission another tailor. Oh, yeah, I'll do it.
Updated my journal.
Oh, most excellent, sir. This very building right here. He points to the long, low structure just north of him. I thank you, sir. Yeah, I'll get to it eventually. All right. Dude's walking around with a couple toadies. Oh, Salabesh the Onyx. Let's talk to him. This tall, thin man, dressed in heavy crimson robes, has sharp, pinched features. He bows regally as you approach him. I am Salabesh, often called Salabesh the Onyx, future mage tutor for the Civic Fest Hall. You have business with me, I take it? Just some questions. About what? Not the ward and the like, I hope. Plenty more common folk could answer such questions, and I think I'd just as soon direct you to one of them. Why are you called the Onyx? A long tale, which I'll shorten to save my breath. In my youth, I was once called Salabesh the Golden, for I was said to have a heart of gold, small, hard, and yellow. Well, I cursed the fool who started that, so he could only speak from his arse and defecate through his mouth. Ooh, the Onyx appellation, along the same lines as the Golden, although admittedly somewhat less clever, soon followed. In any case, I'm a much kinder fellow now, far less prone to laying curses and the like. I'm not certain if I deserve the name any longer. Cursed him to do what? Oh yes, you heard right. Salabesh sighs happily and chuckles to himself. That sort of thing is why I'm known as the Master of Curses, you know. Other questions. What do you mean by future mage tutor of the Fest Hall?
My journal.
It's a prestigious position to be an official tutor in one of the Fest Hall's training chambers. It's my intention to one day take the position of mage's tutor, but the title is currently in the possession of the Lady Thorncombe. If only I could somehow prove that I'd be the superior tutor. Do you know of a cursed man named called Reek?
Updated my journal.
Reek? Salabesh's eyes suddenly dart up. Oh yes, Jumble Murder since cursed that man. If I recall correctly, why? Seeking to get his curse undone? Good luck, only Jumble can do that, you know? Where could I find this Jumble Murder sense? Within the Civic Fest Hall, I suppose, a short, portly fellow with a leering smile. Never speaks, so you'd be hard-pressed to get anything out of him. Question? Okay, never mind. So we've got some advancement about Reekwind. Yeah, where's... There we go. Sarhava Vjul. Sarhava Vjul. The smell of alcohol wafts heavily from this young woman, and despite her dark skin, you can see her face, beautiful but cruel-looking, is flushed. She is slender but well-muscled, adorned in exotic jewelry and translucent silk clothing. Numerous scars crisscross her thighs and forearms. They look to be from battle wounds. Well, what? What have we here? A little tiefling gutter queen come crawling out of the hive. The woman pouts, talking as one would to a small child. Are you lost, little tiefling? Oh, look, it has a tail. How cute. Anna flushes when the snarl blades sprout from her fists. Now, fiendkin, don't do that. The woman seems unconcerned as Anna draws her weapons and clucks disapprovingly with her tongue. Careful now, I'll remove that tail of yours and feed it to my dogs. Let Anna handle it. Let Anna go. She isn't worth the trouble. You have a sharp tongue on you wee lass. Anna spits and sharpens her blades against each other. I wonder how sweet your tacky jewels on harlot's clothes will look on you when you're dead in the street. Anna, wait. You filthy spawn of the lower plains, a bitch bastard that not even a Tanarui would keep in his pen. She draws her blade. Sheathe that blade, girl, or I'll sheathe it in your body. I'll let things happen as they will for the moment.
I'm gone.
Wait, oh, we gotta deal with this. I hope this isn't another infinite thing. The young nobleman sneers at you as you approach him and says nothing. So her toadies just immediately left when she got taken out. Well, I hope that wasn't important. Alright, there's an old poet in Evi Havelock. This kindly looking old man spares you only the briefest glance before returning to his recitation. I'm not going to have to. This narrow-eyed, sharp-faced man is scanning his surroundings with a look of vague disinterest, pausing occasionally to look down and pick at his fingernails. Despite being clothed in silk and velvet finery, he manages to look unsavory and more than a little dangerous. The man looks your way. His eyes are dark slits, like narrow stab wounds beneath his brow. His voice is low and gruff despite his slender build. Pike off. Let's not start much trouble there. There's Jolm's messenger. This slender young man approaches you wearing a somewhat worried expression. 1,000 pardons, sir, but I'm looking for a certain man, and I think you might be able to help me. I'm a messenger, sir, who seeks a man it said cannot die, a scarred man for whom death is nothing but the most trivial of annoyances. You match the admittedly vague description I was given, sir. I wondered if you were he. Yeah, that's me. He nods, then bows deeply to you. A message for you, then, sir. Mistress Jolmy of the House Sirma, a lady of high standing, has sent me. Mistress Jolmy would like to meet you in the Civic Fest Hall, where she would make a proposal, of which I know nothing, to you. Should you choose to seek her out, she wears green silks trimmed with gold and has the hair the color of blue steel. That is the extent of my message, sir. Farewell. Farewell.
Updated my journal.
Find the Civic Fest, so. And then this just loops around, yeah. So I've got the brothel, the curio galleria, the Civic Fest Hall, the undersigil entry, the tailor. I've got a handle there. Back to the lower ward. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the brothel of slaking intellectual lusts. Because
also known as Wanker City.
Okay. I was gonna say because I really want the cleric.
All right.
I don't even know if she's necessary. Yeah, fall from grace. Let's talk to her. Before you is a stunning golden-haired woman, dressed in an azure and violet dress, and with two long, elegant wings draped across her shoulders. She is surveying the room with a slight smile. She is easily the most beautiful woman you have ever seen.
Well met, traveler. How may I help you?
She reaches up to brush back a stray lock of golden hair. Who are you?
Updated my journal.
I am called Fall from Grace. She studies you for a moment. You are new to Sigil, are you not? No, I suspect I've been here for quite some time, actually. Indeed? Yes, but it's a long tale, perhaps longer than I know. I'm more interested in what this place is. This is the brothel of slaking intellectual lust. She studies you for a moment. I take it by your question that you did not intend to partake of this establishment? What kind of brothel is this? I established this brothel to give those lustful fevers that strike the mind more avenues of expression rather than the simply carnal. Much pleasure can be had in conversation and engaging in the verbal arts with others. Why did you establish such a place? Fall from Grace raises an eyebrow. That's an odd question, she frowns. I don't think anyone has ever asked me that, at least directly. My apologies, I didn't mean to be so direct. I was merely curious. Oh, no apologies are necessary. I'm more than happy to discuss the reasons with you if you wish. I would like to hear them, yes. Part of the answer to your questions requires that you know that I am a member of the Society of Sensation. Our faction believes that one should experience as much of the multiverse as possible. And that is why you established this place? The brothel is intended to slake the lusts of even the hardened intellectual. It is designed to stimulate the mind, to heighten one's awareness of themselves and others, to create new ways of experiencing another person. It is for those who seek something other than the shallow physical pleasures that fill the higher and the lower wards. So it encourages intellectual fencing rather than other sides of fencing. The women must be special indeed. The women here are aspiring sensates. They have come to me in search of instruction to prepare themselves to enter the faction. Also, many of them have a natural grasp of language that can shatter the crust of the most hardened individual. I see. So the ladies here are ladies in training, so to speak. Yes, I hope that by learning the art of language and its subtleties, that the patrons and the students here may learn more about themselves. One is only limited as their command of the language. To be able to employ language to evoke emotion in others is a tremendous skill. Okay. If I may ask, Lady Grace, the wings on your back, you are not human, I take it? She's one of the fiends, one of the succubi, she is. She takes your measure, then she'll take your soul to the lower planes, so she will. The companion is correct. I am a lesser Tanaree, more specifically a succubus. She gives a soft sigh. I'm afraid we're a little too common in the lower planes and elsewhere for our own good. Most of my race spend their time seducing mortals with the various pleasures of the flesh. And you?
Updated my journal.
I like to think that I have distanced myself from that. It is ultimately a trivial and non-productive way for one to spend one's time here in the multiverse. There's much more to life, wouldn't you agree? I came here looking for help. Perhaps you could help. Would you like to join me on my travels? Anna stiffens and starts muttering under her breath. Who's to say she'll be coming with us? We don't need the likes of her. Knows so we don't. Travel with you? Fall from Grace smiles slightly. She seems to be ignoring Anna. That is rather forward of you. I'd rather be honest in my intentions. You seem extremely pleasant and well-versed in the ways of the plains. A companion with that kind of knowledge could be welcome. I appreciate your candor. I shall counter with some of my own. Why should I travel with you? I intend to travel to places perhaps no one has ever been to or to reach. Would that interest you? That would indeed. She cups her chin in her hands and thinks for a moment. Yet, you're a sensei. Surely there must be a limit to how much you can learn here. I think you would be surprised. If you want me to accompany you on your travels, I need far more compelling reason than that. Well, I'll see if I can find a more compelling reason. Very well. Alright, well we can go ahead and try and get her. That is the Cleric, I think. I think I have to, wander around here and solve whatever's in here. The Modrons! Okay, hold on a sec. Let's talk to Delora first. This dark-haired, pale-skinned woman has a cultured, refined look about her. As she turns to you, you note that her eyes, which you had previously thought to be gray, are the color of brushed steel. The woman's voice is soft, calm, and without an inflection. It has a certain far-away quality, as if somehow not attached to her. Greetings, I am called Delora. May I serve you somehow? In what ways can you serve me, Delora? She blinks her eyes, then touches her hand to her heart, bowing her head slightly. I am able to debate any scholarly or academic matter quite proficiently, if that is your wish. I am also well versed in various games of strategy, should you wish to play something, though I have the materials for few such games here. Debate, you said? That is correct. I am neither a tome nor a tutor. I have no desire to educate my patrons. Should you have a matter to discuss, however, the 15 factions and their effect on Sigilian politics, the most effective battle stratagems for warring in Acheron, the meaning of existence itself, I would be more than happy to choose a counterpoint and engage you in debate. See if you can best her. You choose a topic and begin. The debate lasts a long time as the two of you exchange points and counterpoints, each attempting to methodically undermine the other's position. As you speak, a strange feeling begins to come over you, a memory trying to surface. Memories of a great hall begin to form in your mind, a vast place, full of well-dressed elites. A formal ball was taking place. Before you was a small, impeccably dressed fellow who wore a golden medallion. It was emblazoned with a symbol you dimly recall as the sign of one. The two of you stood in a circle of onlookers who gathered to listen to your debate. But that's impossible, the man was saying, looking perplexed. Oh, but it is, you recall yourself replying. I've made several inarguable points and given you a number of examples. You simply don't exist. But you can't. Were I to accept that, I'd... Yes, you'd cease to exist. And without a flash of light or a puff of smoke, with no fanfare of any sort, the man was simply gone. The onlookers oohed and awed. Some clapped. You remember giving a flourishing bow and walking away, a small satisfied smile on your lips. You suddenly realized Dolores watching you closely. Are you feeling well? You might finish our discussion another time, should you like. Let's continue the debate. As hard-pressed as you are to beat Dolores' infallible sense of logic, you eventually win out. She merely nods in approval. You are a most skilled debater. There is no denying. I do feel, though, that had I had time to perform some research, you might not have bested me. I consider it perhaps not. I'd consider that an unfair advantage, though. Delora nods. If you would like, we can debate once more upon the same topic. I could argue your position this time, should you desire it. Are you always so ruthless in a debate? Mistress Grace instructed me to show no mercy, for another of her students always allowed a patron to win after a lengthy debate. It was Mistress Grace's desire that I provide a different sort of experience for the clientele. I see. Could we play a game now? Anything particularly you wish to play? I don't remember any games. Here, then allow me to show you one. Delora brings out a thin, lacquered box, which folds into a small board marked with a grid. The contents of the box prove to be a number of polished stone chips, half of them black, half of them white. This game goes by many names. Shall I explain the rules to you? Delora explains to you the rules of the game, how the chips are moved, how one bests one's opponent. It seems somehow faintly familiar to you. The rules are simple, yes, but a great deal of complexity lies within the game itself. It takes a great deal of time to master. Shall we play? Yes, let's. As you play, you come to realize that you've done so before. You recall various ploys and strategies that have won you to previous games, and employ every trick you know to best her. Suddenly a strange feeling comes over you, a memory trying to surface. Memories of a smoke-filled field of battle begin to fill your mind. Atop a great hill overlooking the fighting you sat, mounted upon a massive four-legged beast. The braying of horns carried your orders to the troops below. Even as you watched, your forces divided, fleeing left and right as the foreign army fought its way up the hill to slay the enemy lord, you. The fools, you had thought, lips curling into a wicked smile. My knights shall charge down the hillside and stop their advance in an instant, and at that very moment, any retreating footmen will fall in to crush their flanks. Ah, yes, another victory soon to be mine. You suddenly realize that Delora is watching you intently. Are you feeling well? We might take up the game another day, if you so wish. No, let's continue the game. Delora plays excellently, counteracting all but your most crafty moves, but eventually your feints and calculating maneuvers win her over her well-crafted strategies. She nods approvingly as she begins to put the game away. You're a fine player, perhaps a master. I commend you on your skill. Do you always play so mercilessly? Another of her student plays had her opponent who will always just manage to win. It was Miss Grace's desire that I prove a different sort of experience, a true challenge rather than something that might be pleasing to one's ego. I had some questions for you. I am willing to serve you as a patron, but have no wish to answer all the questions this time. My apologies, but I fear you shall simply have to bear with that for the time being. Anything I can help you with?
My journal.
She looks up from the floor and into your eyes. Once more, you struck by the pale smoothness of her skin, the cold depths of her silvery eyes. No, I fear not. My troubles are a matter of the heart. In time, I think, all things will be resolved. Are you certain there's nothing I can do? Certain? Delora pauses, if thinking. No, I am not. My first love, Merriman's, to possess is still the keys to my heart. So long as he has them, I shan't be free to love another. This is the cause of my melancholy. Why don't you seek him out? Speak with him? I may not leave this place. The reasons why are deeply personal and not to be shared with strangers, even ones who might bestow a kindness upon me. But suffice to say that I cannot seek out Merriman myself. And then I'll seek him out and I'll speak with him on your behalf. Delora nods, the slight smile appearing on her lips. She bows her head. Were you to find to speak with Merriman, I would be the most grateful. He's a member of the Society of Sensations, so you may wish to ask for him in the Civic Fest Hall. Okay.
I feel stronger.
And it's going to be such a back and forth here, I think.
I'm gone.
Alright, let's level up. Got another characteristic point. I'm going to put it in... Man, I kind of want to put it in charisma. I'm gonna put in intelligence for now. Yeah. Alright, and I think what I'm gonna do is, let's talk to these Modrons and I'm gonna wrap it up. This strange cubic creature seems to be as much machine as it is organic. As you approach the thing, it silently stares at you with wide, unblinking eyes. Its face hasn't the slightest trace of emotion on it. Its voice has a metallic, reverberating quality to it, as if it were more a sound played out on some warped musical instrument than true speech. Your greetings is returned. There is a soft click as the creature blinks. An awkward silence hangs in the air between the two of you. I had some questions. Identify yourself to us. I'm not sure who I am. We would know why this is so. I don't know myself. I just can't remember. All things should have a name. All things should be identified. We find your answer unsatisfactory, but I shall have to suffice for the present. The creature pauses and blinks at you. We would identify ourselves as Modrons, Quadron type, wing variant to the subject. I had some questions. The subject is free to ask a question. What are you doing here? Our purpose here is observation. What are you observing? We are observing one of the establishment staff. Who are you observing? As previously stated, we are observing one of the establishment staff. Yes, but who exactly are you observing? The object of our scrutiny is named Delora. Why are you watching her? We have not been informed as to the specific purpose or purposes which resulted in our being given our present task. The command of our superior pentadrone is sufficient reason to perform said task. As such, the purpose or purposes are irrelevant to us. Good old Modrons. What can you tell me about this place? A building located in the section of Sigil commonly known as the Clerk's Ward. We cannot give exact coordinates as the surface of the Sigil changes at intervals we have not determined as of present. The building itself is known as the brothel of slating intellectual lust. It serves as what may broadly be defined as a language school. The students in the school are primarily females who intend to, at some point we have not determined and which varies from student to student, become a factotum in the Society of Sensation. I think that's all that they can tell me. Alright, well, I
Done.
am going to wrap it up here, and we're going to continue talking through everybody in this next time. For now, it's been the RPG Crawler with Planescape Torment. Until next time, take care and goodbye. And if you are still watching, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my supporters, the top tiers of which are listed on the screen, without whose support I would not have been able to offer the variety of content that I have on this channel throughout the years. If you're feeling particularly generous and would like to join them, you can support the channel. There are a variety of options to do so. I have a Patreon, a Subscribestar, as well as channel memberships enabled. If you are not in a position to contribute, simply leaving a like, a comment, or sharing my videos are all wonderful ways to help the channel grow without spending a dime, and are all greatly appreciated.